Hey folks, your
Absolute Packer podcast initiating in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
17, is that right?
It is 17.
All right.
Here go.
Hello, Absolute Packer podcast fans, and welcome to episode 17 of the Absolute Packer podcast, where we're going to recap the Packers versus the Panthers, and we'll go over some other stuff. And they lost, so the playoffs are not going to happen, which sucks ass. But
see
it
y'all
was
next
not
year.
terribly.
That's the end.
Yeah, it wasn't terribly surprising, but it still sucks. So, what's up, Elliot?
It was a really tough game to watch
It was.
at times. It just feels like, I don't know. I mean, we were hopeful and then we were depressed and then we were hopeful and then we were just like, yeah, okay. It's
Yeah,
done.
I think I kind of fell victim to the whole Aaron Rodgers is going to come in and save us. And
we all did. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course you did.
Yeah, I mean, it was obvious that within, I would say after his first pick and just kind of watching it, he skipped a couple throws on the ground in front of people's feet, stuff he never does.
No.
He wasn't completely healthy. I bet he came back at like 80%.
Yep.
Which, I mean, I'll give him credit because an 80% Rodgers is still better than 100% Hundley, but he wasn't right. And to see him throw 3 picks in a game is just, my jaw was on the ground. I was like, what am I watching? And all 3 of them were terrible picks.
I know.
So he was rusty, and I don't think he had enough strength in his, arm. Either he thought he could hit some of those and he didn't. And
yeah.
so, I mean, he had 3 touchdowns, but 3 picks. And with this defense, if you turn the ball over 3 times, good luck. Actually, they turned it over 4 times.
I know. And that is the critical thing there, right? So the defense just wasn't picking it up at all.
No, they had 3 and outs at one point. And then Rodgers, kept throwing interceptions, and I'll give him credit for that. But everything in between, it was the busted coverages and the pointing of the fingers and the Keystone Cops before the snap on the defensive side of the ball is just this is embarrassing, and it's high school football level crap. It's even beneath that. It's such an indictment on Capers and McCarthy for allowing this crap. And I mean,
did you see the video of when
Clay Matthews with Cam Newton? Yes, I did. Where he goes, "Oh, it's the wheel route," and he goes, "Oh, you've been watching film. Watch this," and then he throws an untouched slant to McCaffrey.
God, that's just so not cool.
No, that right there shows you everything you need to know about the defense. And I mean, McCaffrey, who's a rookie, and he's a good player, no doubt, but he ate them up. A rookie was just schooling everybody. And then it was the defense. Again, I expected what I got out of the defense. I was not expecting what we got out of Rodgers. So the fact that they still had a chance with that onside kick to tie it was pretty cool. It appeared to be a lost game. And then the final 2 minutes, I'm like, hey, this is pretty neat. And then here's another interesting thing. So, where Geronimo Allison fumbles, and that was the end of the game, and he had a first down on that. That right there is kind of that's another microcosm of this team and the regime and everything because, Devontae Adams was hurt, so that's who probably would have caught that ball had he been in the game and he was healthy. It wouldn't have been Allison. But you got a guy who's a fringe NFL player, undrafted rookie, thrown in there, and he made a mistake. And it's that's such a Ted Thompson. I don't know. I mean, and to Geronimo Allison's credit, he answered questions in the locker room and all that. And I mean, it was a good play by the defender. I'm not taking anything away from that. But, man, it's been a long time since Packers have been on the outside looking in on the playoffs, and they deserve to not be in the playoffs.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I see that all my notes didn't copy over and I lost them all. So I only have, I had,
I see some, sorry.
Yeah, I only have not even through the first half, but whatever.
Well, maybe Dom Capers got a hold of your notes. I don't know. You only have half a plan. That's all I can come up with. We're doing this kind of like sad laughter, laughing nervously, right? I could pop into the X's and O's. I wanted to just kind of preface, just those general things about the game. But, the first thing I have here is there was an air of confidence about the team. They looked like they were ready to play, and Rodgers looked pretty sharp.
Yes.
And even though he didn't get a first down on that first series, or he might have gotten a first down, but I don't think he moved the ball past the 50-yard line. I can't quite remember, but he looked pretty sharp. So the first one, I'm going, hey, he's throwing it well. He's moving well. He doesn't look jittery. So that was nice to see.
Yep.
And yeah, I made a comment there. Rodgers' arm looked pretty good. Seemed to have the zip on the ball. His timing was a little off because he threw two balls behind Jordy and behind Cobb, which, again, I was expecting to see that too. I mean, when you don't play in a game for 8 weeks, you're going to have timing issues. So those are things that I wasn't surprised by. But and then I kind of pop right in. So Aaron Jones, who he's been a revelation, him and Jamal Williams. I think they're going to make a great 1-2 punch next year. But Aaron Jones had 2 carries in the first half for an average of 15 yards a carry. 15 yards a carry. And then he only carried the ball one more time in this game.
I know.
That is an absolute travesty. If ever there was a time you needed to lean on a running game, this is it. And I have a note in here that clicks to a link by Tom Silverstein from Packers News. And I completely agree with this. This is something, it's kind of one of these, 800-pound gorilla in the room that nobody talks about. But if you have McCarthy and Rodgers, and more so I think Rodgers as a quarterback, they're never going to commit to the run. It's not going to happen. We can talk about it. McCarthy can talk about it. And the reason I say it's more Rodgers is he has the ability to change the plays at the line. We don't know how many times McCarthy's calling a run and Rodgers checks out of it. Because I'm willing to bet it's Rodgers more than McCarthy doing it. And I mean, he's the best player in the league. Yeah, you want the ball in his hands, but Jesus H. Christ. I mean, it's to the detriment of the team. And that sucks because you have a proven stable of backs that are rookies, and 3 carries. I mean, I was just like, I threw my hands up in the air when I heard that stat. I was like, oh my God. So that's a crime, and they got to get their act together on that. He's a very exciting player, Jones.
Yeah, I really don't understand why they make some of those decisions.
Rodgers wants to chuck it around. McCarthy likes to do that too. And I think I've said this before, maybe in this podcast or just to other friends. Mike McCarthy is the most stubborn son of a bitch I have ever seen in my life. Stubborn coach. I know plenty of other sons of bitches who are stubborn that are football coaches, but when it comes to a football coach, it is incredible how stubborn that guy is. I mean, he will beat his head against the wall over and over and over. I mean, there's so many times in games, like for instance, where a guy will be obliterating. He needs to give his tackles help because he rarely gives his tackles or offensive linemen help, right? Because he wants to send more guys out in the pattern to catch passes. And there'll be a guy who's just annihilating one of his tackles one-on-one, and it'll take him 3 quarters to get a guy to help out there and chip. He just stubborn.
Yeah.
So you throw your hands up in the air. This is the way it's going to be. They're never going to be a balanced team.
No.
Anyway, soapbox ran over. But this was, I mean, let's be honest. The fact that the playoffs are done and out of this game, there's a lot of ranting and frustration. There were some positives within the game, but not many.
Well, okay. So, I mean, it was not a foregone conclusion we were going to make the playoffs, even with the win there.
No.
Even winning out.
Yeah, they had to win out just to have a chance.
Right.
So that's definitely true. But, I mean, you think we were going to go anywhere with this defense?
No.
Jesus Christ.
No.
I mean, yeah. So, yeah, the underthrow, I made a point here about a couple of those interceptions. The throw that was picked off over the middle of the Cobb, that would have been a touchdown. If he hits Cobb, he had to throw it over the linebacker. He underthrew it. And the one to Jordy that he underthrew, it looked like it was triple coverage. It wasn't triple coverage. It was underthrown. So those guys had time to catch up. Jordy has man beat. I think Rodgers from October probably could have made those 2 throws.
No doubt.
So that's unfortunate, but God, 3 picks, run the damn ball. It's like, Aaron, cool off. I'm McCarthy. Cool off. Give it to your running backs. They're averaging 15 yards a carry.
Yeah.
Ugh. But yeah, it is what it is, as they say. So, here is a shining player, a shining good thing to come out of this season. Maybe not necessarily this game, but Davante Adams. He's proven to be, the most important perimeter player they have. McCarthy even said so as much. Which I think was kind of a thin shot to Ted to say, you need to sign this guy because without him, we're fucked. Pardon my French. But he suffered his third concussion in the past 14 months, and 2 of these concussions he suffered have been on egregious illegal hits, and that sucks. Obviously sucks for him, for his health and everything, but it also sucks because he's proving to be somewhat susceptible to concussions. 3 in 14 months is nothing to sneeze at, and I think it might affect his negotiations. It's business. If I were Ted and those guys, you'd have to bring it up. I mean, he's looking to command maybe $14 million a year.
Yeah.
And it's I think they do have to sign him because they ain't got nothing behind him.
No.
But I'm not going to lie. I mean, you get a 4th concussion in, next year sometime. That's 4 documented. That's not good. But these clowns that are getting these hits, I mean, they didn't get knocked out. Trevathan was the first guy who hit him in the Chicago game, and he got fined and suspended after. But the fact that they don't eject these players out of the game is unbelievable.
I think that's going to have to change.
It has to.
I think that there's going to be
how are you going to enforce these things? How are you going to, fines are one thing and losing one game is one thing, but it's almost like, and I hate to use this word because it sounds hokey, but it's fair. We lost Davante Adams for the game. They should use the player who took him out illegally. Yeah,
that's what I keep seeing, people saying that. And that is a fair way to do it, I think.
I think it is. It's crap. I mean, the guy's a good player. He continues to play, but one of our best players has to get out of the game.
I mean, and if you can't literally do that because it's just too complicated to, keep track of or whatever the deal is, something along those lines needs to happen. It just needs to happen. There's just
that, and the catch rule needs to change this offseason because nobody knows what the hell a catch is, and it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
So, I mean, I don't think we deserve to win this game, but the one, the catch in the end zone
where the guy's butt.
So
Chiefs hit in bounds.
So someone needs to explain this in a justifiable way to me that what on earth? So you have to have 2 feet down, but you can have half of your butt. What am I missing?
You know what? I don't even know because the problem is it's so inconsistent. There's been times I'm like, that's a catch, and it's not. And there's times I'm like, that ain't no catch, and it is. So it's like, I have no idea. I really don't. And it's, there's people who are paid to analyze these games who have no idea. And it's got to change because it's just crap.
So, I mean, that is actually a bigger problem because
I agree. It's a huge problem.
I mean, injuries, and nobody wants superstars getting just beat up.
Well, did you see the Steelers game against the Patriots where the Steelers scored a winning touchdown? They said that guy who dove across the thing that wasn't a touchdown. Yeah. My ass, that was a touchdown.
I know. You
know how I know? I have 2 eyes.
Yeah, I just they're making it too complicated.
Yes, and it interrupts the flow of the game. It does all. It's just ugh.
And I don't know exactly how you fix it, but just some of these things, I don't know, make it so you have to have 2 feet on the ground to catch it. Then, whatever the deal is,
no matter what, if your butt hits the ground, tough shit. Your feet didn't hit the ground. They were up in the air.
These things, where we have to analyze the angle and different cameras, and then we're still not sure. I mean, boy, you can influence the outcome of a game hugely. Yeah. I mean, that was really the difference. This could have gone to overtime again. And
do you think it has? I mean, a lot of this it has to do. This is my little tinfoil conspiracy theory thing, but it has to have something to do with betting.
I don't know. I mean, it almost makes you feel like
Vegas and the lines and all this stuff.
Boy,
I don't know.
It would be,
otherwise it makes no sense.
That would be the end of the NFL if something like that came out. Ho 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 ho.
Oh my God! Wouldn't surprise me though. Too much money to be had, right?
That is true.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable. If you could actually influence the game. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yuck. Some clown, in a cabaret in Vegas is pulling the chains.
And it always feels a little different when it's your team that, is on the losing side of either a bad hit or the catch rules. But man, I mean, I really try to be really subjective about it. And
you mean objective?
Objective.
Yeah. It's like, we're subjective.
That's why I pause. I try not to be subjective. Whatever. Yeah, I'm mixing metaphors. But when it happens to the other team, I'm like, yeah, that was a catch. That wasn't a catch. Like, I try to be fair. I try to be fair.
Well, think of it this way. Remember when the Cowboys, the game at Lambeau, and it was Des Bryant? Did he catch it? Yeah, he caught that ball.
Yes, exactly.
Of course he did.
And it's like some of them don't go your way, so you're kind of like okay with it. When some do go your way, two wrongs don't make it right.
Exactly. And the fact that we're having to discuss this and like debate about it is insane.
It's insane. No other sport has
this. It's got to change. I know it has to change. It has to.
I mean, hockey, it's not a question. You score, you don't. Basketball, it's not a question. I mean, there's no other sport.
I know. It's stupid. We need to move on before my head explodes. I completely agree.
I mean, the closest thing, I guess, is like some kind of a foul in basketball where you can be like, that wasn't really a foul.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
That would be the closest, though. And like those are, but you did hit him. Like by comparison, it's just not even close. And it doesn't change the outcome of the game in nearly this way.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
The next bullet was this is kind of going about Rodgers. So it was his first 3 interception game since 2009. That is an incredible stat, and it is a testament to Rodgers' greatness.
Yeah,
you can't. Nothing lasts forever, so it was bound to happen. Like he threw a pick six. Remember, he threw a pick six earlier this year, and he had only thrown one in his whole career, which is again mind blowing.
Yep.
It's. That's crazy. And it was, if this was the game that was going to happen, so be it, because, it wasn't because he was rusty. And I think he was still trying to figure out how strong his arm really was,
He looked like Brett Favre out there.
He did. 2 of those picks, I'm going, this looks like BF out there.
Yeah.
This is now, I also put a note here, though. In fairness, the Panthers do have a really good defense. I think their defense with passing is top 5, or collectively it might be top 5. So they have a good defense.
No question. And they have a good offense.
We don't have a good defense. I wanted to make that point. And this on the next bullet. This might have been the poorest defensive collective effort of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, what can I say? It was the touchdown to Greg Olsen where he was wide open, busted coverage by Josh Jones, a rookie safety.
I know.
I mean, he sat there and waited for the ball. They're embarrassing that an NFL team puts this out. And I keep going back to, like, when I see things like that and I hear about the Packers being termed, they were Super Bowl favorites at the beginning of the year. And I'm going, how wrong are people about the quality of this roster to think that nobody knew how top heavy the Packers really were until Rodgers got hurt. And then you talk about a house of cards. I mean, this roster is, and look, I didn't think I'd say it. I really didn't. But this roster collectively without Aaron Rodgers is borderline trash.
Yeah. And
borderline.
And we know that, but I felt like, okay, what am I getting wrong? Like I see these analysts and they make these picks at the beginning of the season. I'm like, so did something change that I didn't see?
And here's what we and this blows my own mind too, though, but it's true. We, as Packer fans and NFL in general fans, we undervalue how important Aaron Rodgers is, if that's possible.
Well, yeah.
Think about that.
There's no question now.
He might be the best player in the history of the league, and we're undervaluing him. It is just, and that's why it's just growing more and more. Something's got to give, and it's beyond he's carrying the team. It's beyond they're not surrounding him with enough talent. It is much deeper.
Yeah.
Than that. And you had made a comment before, started the podcast, we're talking about, where is it? Is it the talent? Is it the coaching? I mean, I think it is somewhere in between. I think it's the whole damn thing. It's rotten from the inside. Now, if I had to look at I'm going to put it in three camps right here real quick. If you're looking at, and it's kind of top to bottom, Ted, Mike, and Capers. I would say the biggest problem right now is Capers. The second biggest problem is Ted. And McCarthy, he's a problem in my perspective because he's allowed Capers to remain. But outside of that, I don't think he's that bad of a coach. I don't think he's like, a great coach. I think he's a pretty good coach. But Ted, and I mean, there's such a lack of talent on just everywhere on the roster, and it's just becoming so apparent. Now, some of it is there's youth, but with the Packers, there's always youth. So you can't use it as an excuse, with this team, because youth is what they have. And look at the 2017 draft. Look at the contributions. Jack shit. Your first round pick was Kevin King, which he's on IR, hurt himself, rookie cornerback. And apparently he had a shoulder injury coming into the league. I mean, he was already hurt. Yeah. He had a shoulder injury coming out of college. And that's troubling.
So do we know those kinds of things? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was known. It's not like it's not like a torn ACL. A shoulder is, it can be dealt with, but still, he had a known nagging injury. Second round pick was, who the heck was it? Josh Jones, who's had a horrific year. He started off decent, but he's fast, but boy, he's given up blown coverage touchdowns every week. It's bad. Montravius Adams is the third round pick. Do you remember this guy?
No.
And then the fourth round pick, Vince Beagle, hurt himself.
Yeah.
Came back and he hasn't been much. The top four picks in this draft. Yeah. Nothing.
And if that's
for a team that drafts and develops, nothing.
Yeah. Well,
but Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams, bottom of the we'll call draft, they have contributed. So that's good. I'll give him credit for that.
Right.
But if you're a draft and develop team and your first four picks are shit, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's yuck.
Yep.
All right, I gotta clear my head here. I do think Capers is gone though. That was the death nail. And people were saying, well, maybe Capers is going to retire. I heard him at his press conference the other day. He has no intention of retiring. So they're going to have to can him. He's kind of almost, I don't want to say he's painting McCarthy in a corner. That's not fair. But
I know.
McCarthy's made a couple comments in the past couple of days where I think he's going to get fired the day after McCarthy made up his mind after the Carolina game is what I think. Because I heard McCarthy after the Carolina game, and I have not heard him be that rough on his team, specifically the defense, as he should. So I think Capers is gone. I really do.
So we're hard on the offense, and we're hard on Aaron Rodgers about coming back and being, not amazing. But if the defense gives up 31 points, it's pretty tough.
And again, like with the Capers, like the talent / coaching thing specific to defense. I mean, they had injuries, no doubt. I mean, they were starting. And so look at like the bottom end of the roster, if you will, in the defense. I mean, they had like undrafted, no name cornerbacks. Yeah. That's not Capers' fault. I can't blame him for that.
No.
But when you have Montravius Adams, who isn't even seeing the field, he's a healthy scratch every week. And Josh Jones, a second round pick, who's sucking terribly. And I mean, King, I can't really blame him for that. He got hurt, but it is a combination of those two, and I also think that Capers has the league's passed him by. His scheme is outdated, and it's too complicated. One guy who's taken a precipitous fall this year, and it's completely unexplainable, is Clinton Dix. He's had a horrible year. He was a Pro Bowler last year, and he's regressed. And I read somewhere that, and again, don't quote me on this, but some of these guys have checked out of Capers' system. They're like, fuck it, I've had it. I can't even deal with this. And Clinton Dix might be one of those guys.
So if that's happening, then why do we have to wait? Like, why can't he go? Why can't
I would say the same thing.
Like, why can't he go now? Like, aren't we better off with like almost having nobody?
And to that, well, here's one thing I will say. I mean, the Packers don't make midseason moves. That just doesn't happen under Ted and Mike, and I'm okay with that. Yeah. But I think the worst thing, and I swear to God, if they do this,
but the Packers
if they promote from within, here's what I think: if they fire Capers, the whole damn staff is gone. I think the whole defensive staff they're starting over, and they're going to get a new coordinator, and he'll hire all his assistants. But if I even hear that they're going to hire from within,
one
of Capers, I'm going to blow my top.
Yep.
because you got to gut that whole damn thing.
So, you said that the Packers don't do this, but the Packers also don't have losing seasons.
You're right.
Like a losing season, you got to make
heads roll when there's a losing season. The last time they had a losing season was Aaron Rodgers' rookie year, and guess what happened?
Yeah.
Fired the defensive coordinator. So something's going to happen.
You got to do that. There's
something's going to happen.
There's no question. And waiting is just, you're just delaying the inevitable. Like there's no season left. So the last 2 games of this season are like we're setting the groundwork for next season now.
Yeah, you know what they're going to do? They're going to play a lot of young players.
Good.
And a lot of
good.
And I would let Hundley chuck the ball everywhere.
I would too.
Who's he going to throw to? I mean, Devontae Adams, his favorite guy, is out.
Know.
And the rest of the guys, they are slow as shit. So
I know.
He might have to throw it to himself, because he's pretty quick.
I know. Like we were
actually, he could throw it to Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is quick.
That's true. I feel like I was a little rough on Hundley. That he's not that bad.
Because the talent around him too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry that Aaron Rodgers is so amazing, but like Hundley's not that bad.
I mean, you look at like the receivers. This is going to be such a crazy offseason because I'm telling you right now, I would be fine if they cut Cobb and Jordy. Now, some people would go, "You're crazy." Well, 2 reasons. Number one, they both have crazy high salary hits, and number 2, they're done.
Right? What have they done?
Now, who's behind them? I couldn't tell you that, but
it doesn't matter.
It
doesn't matter. Like if they're not they're not contributing, and so there's the idea, I guess, of like what would you call it? Like the negative impact, right? Like, so if Jordy's not there taking a major defender, then is it harder on who's left? Possibly, right? So,
one thing who is going to play? Sorry, real quick. Who is going to play? Jeff Janis. He's going to play receiver these past 2 games.
Fine.
Yay! A guy with real speed. Also, Trevor Davis.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think very good, but I have a lot of speed.
Yeah.
And since the rest of the team and McCarthy's like, fuck it, throw these guys out here. We're going to see what they got. Right. Maybe they'll actually make something happen.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what?
So
I think that's good. I think that's good. And maybe he'll be a good fit with Hundley, like whatever.
Yeah.
It could be fun to watch.
I mean, Hundley, this is the last year of his contract, I think.
Oh, really?
So is it? Maybe he's got 1 more year, but I mean, I don't know. I laugh when I think of the beginning of the season. They were the Super Bowl favorite. This team was the Super Bowl favorite.
Yeah.
I'm like, anywho.
Like, we might not have beat the Vikings this week with Aaron Rodgers.
I don't think we would, to be honest with you. And I mean, and with Aaron Rodgers, say we beat Carolina, we're not going to beat Vikings, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Vikings have the best defense in the league, I think. And even though it's at home, I mean, I don't think it'd be enough. I mean, they might get hammered in this game. I mean, this could get real ugly because they're not playing a lot of guys. They already shut down some guys for the season. Devontae Adams is it's going to be could get ugly.
But you know what? Okay, I think it's pretty clear right now we have the worst division in football. Like the Vikings don't have to be that good to.
That's a good question. What is the worst division?
It's ours. We're the worst.
I haven't paid much attention to the other collective divisions.
But you can't just go off of record, right? Like,
well, I mean, you do it somewhat,
but I mean, ultimately, but you have to, if you compare,
the AFC North is pretty crummy,
sure,
and I think that's because they have the Bengals and is that the Browns?
Yeah.
But yeah, I hear you. I mean, we're not a good division. That's for damn sure.
We're not any better than the Browns.
But the Vikings are a top 5 team in the league. They are. They're damn good.
I don't know about that. I think they're pretenders, man. I think
you really do.
I do.
Well, I don't think their quarterback is much to write home about, like Case Keenum, but he's a game manager. Their defense is for real.
They're fine.
Their defense is for real.
Their defense is fine. Yeah, it's. I mean, compared to what? Compared to the Packers? Compared to Detroit?
No, they're a top 3 defense in the league.
Yeah,
in the entire league, they're a real deal. I mean, after this many weeks, it's hard to say they're pretending on that side of the ball.
But it helps build up. It helps build up wins when you're playing against Detroit, the Packers, and the Bears.
To a point. To a point.
Like,
I mean, I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl.
You get a lot of easy wins. And that's what I mean. So if they're top 5, well, their offense, I don't know. I mean,
Keenum. I got to tell you, I got to give him credit for how Keenum's playing lights out.
Sure.
The guy was a shitty backup for other teams, and he's the third stringer on the
I'm
Viking.
aware, like that's a crazy turn of events, and maybe that's what they needed, but I don't know.
Here's a question for you. This is a very interesting question. Do you think the Packers have a better chance to win a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback, or kind of going a different direction and trying to get a badass defense and just like a don't screw up quarterback?
Offense. I don't buy that the defense wins championships nonsense.
You got to have a decent defense.
Sure you do. But like, look at last year, when the Patriots came back against Atlanta, offense wins Super Bowls. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but the Patriots had a good defense last year.
No doubt. But like,
don't forget that
they were behind and then they caught up. Like, like that is, you got to play right on both sides of the ball. Yeah, I totally get that. But
and what I'm saying is, here's where I'm going with it. Aaron Rodgers is his salary. He's going to make damn near $30 million a year.
Yeah,
that doesn't help the rest of the team.
It doesn't matter. He's not going anywhere. It doesn't
matter.
Well,
I get that. But what I'm saying is,
you're talking total hypothetical. Yeah.
Yeah, it's total hypothetical, but it's also philosophy based.
Yeah.
They won the Super Bowl in 2010.
Sure.
When you look at it this way, the teams they went through in the playoffs, they weren't very good.
Sure.
Chicago was in the NFC Championship game. Give me a break.
I know.
The Eagles were okay. The Falcons were pretty good, but they, and that was Aaron Rodgers' coming out party, obviously. Mm-hmm. And they had a top 10 defense. Mm-hmm. And Aaron Rodgers wasn't making, $20 million a year or whatever. So, and think about this. Remember, the only reason they got in the playoffs was because the Eagles returned that punt for a touchdown against the Giants.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was the only reason they got in.
That's right.
If that play never happened, think about where we'd be now. There'd be no McCarthy and Thompson. And I'm just saying it's crazy.
Well, but you can say that about every team.
I get that. I get that. But when you like really go down like the wormhole of where things went, it's like, but I look back and I go, I can't believe how shitty Ted's like past 6 drafts have been.
So the thing is, all right. So if I was in charge, would I structure it that way? No way. And the reason is
structure it more defense. You mean?
Yeah. I mean, we have to we have to clean up the defense, but that's a known. We have to do that already. And
can you clean up the defense in one off season?
I don't know. I mean, teams do. I don't know.
I think it's possible, but you have to make a commitment to do things.
Yeah.
And the thing is, will they make a commitment to do those things? Here's what I'm saying. You get a new defensive coordinator in here. That will be great. Say he brings in a new staff and he's a younger guy. That's great.
Yep.
You still need some fucking players.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean street free agents. Will Ted go out and get a real free agent? And will he hit on some drafts? It's not just changing over that coordinator.
So I don't know like what kind of decent coordinators would be available for the taking.
Vic Fangio is the guy that everybody's eyeing up, and that's the guy. He's the defensive coordinator for Chicago. Chicago is a very good defense, and they're going to clean house after this season because Chicago under John Fox has been horrific. So rumor has it that's who we're going to go after hard. But I mean that's just a rumor. But he's I want to say he's in his early 50s, and Capers is in his late 60s.
Right.
And he runs the same defense, a 3-4.
Yeah.
And, he's not set in his ways and using an abacus like Dom Capers. So, that's a guy I'd like to see. And I think it's possible.
I mean, why not?
Hell yeah.
I don't.
Probably have to pay. You have to pay him pretty good because he's going to be sought after, too.
Yeah, you think?
I mean, not crazy, but they'll have to pay him pretty good.
I don't know. It's hard for me to like say. Like right now, anybody with the Bears would be highly sought after, but maybe
Vic Fangio is known to be a good coordinator, no doubt.
But then, I don't know why they let him go then.
But you get the chance to work with Aaron Rodgers and Packers. There's a lot of prestige to that, so you would think it wouldn't be terribly hard. I hear what you're saying, but I don't know.
Let's get it.
Let's do it.
Like tomorrow, let's give him a call. Like, hey, your season's over. Let's just
Dom, turn in your keys and your toupee. You're out of here.
I don't know. I mean, I had nothing against the guy, and like I'm sure that in a lot of ways he's very good. It just didn't really work with this draft and develop strategy. Maybe
I agree completely. Now here's a question: why the fuck would you stay here? Why would you keep a guy there when your philosophy is at odds with your front office for that many years? I hate to get all testy. I don't get testy now, but I'm like, this is right in front of our face.
Okay, so
why would you let this drag out during the height of Aaron Rodgers' career, during his prime?
Well, every time there's a game, we hear, especially like Buck and Aikman, they just go on and on about Capers. And
they're living in the past. He was great for 20 years. The last 10 years have sucked ass.
Right. So I feel like football guys maybe they're like too close to the problem.
Well, part of it is he is like also, I don't want to say NFL royalty Capers, but it's like, he was a founder of the 3-4 zone blitz scheme, all that kind of stuff, which is great. But so they're protecting the brand and they're towing that line, so to speak. But I guarantee you get those guys out the air, they're probably like, this guy don't know what the fuck he's doing. And he's running a scheme that's been out of date for 15 years,
Right.
So anywho,
it ain't
working. Go on to outside football stuff. Sliding Hill's open.
Yeah.
And you got to pay money to go down it.
So $3 a ride.
Jesus, the Packers.
There's like a daily rate, but like $3 a ride, man. I don't know. I remember like the Baird Creek Hill. I don't know what it costs now. I haven't gone there in a million years, but
I heard they closed it down.
Oh, really?
Because I watched that. I mean, I went there a couple of years ago, and I went there a long time ago as well. But my daughter was talking to her. She said, no, they closed it down. And I mean, she's 8, but I hadn't heard about it in a while. And I think that might have happened because it's kind of unsafe. Haul ass down that hill.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, that's totally outside of what we're talking about. But since you brought that up, I was like, I hope they didn't close it down because it was pretty fun.
I don't know. I'll have to check that out. I had no idea.
Now we have to go to Titletown.
Well, that's closer for me, but I don't care. Like, it's not for me, but like, I think I actually, I don't know where they ended up going, but Ben was going to take Zoe and I think they were going to go there. So,
okay.
Yeah. I
need to go to Titletown and like check out some of the other stuff. They got like the skating rink and all that. It looks really cool. I need to take my daughter down there, no doubt.
It looks world class. I mean,
yes, it does. It does.
I have no complaints, and I've been talking to people about this, and I'm going to get it confused. The Shipyard. So at one end of Broadway, we have the Shipyard, and one is the Rail Yard. So like that's bad branding right there. Or maybe they think it's brilliant branding, but the fact that I can't keep neither of them straight.
Who thinks it's good branding? Guy Zimmer? Oh, sorry, didn't say that.
No. He's. I think he agrees with me. I mean, he's for it because it's in his district. But like, if you look at it, I just there's these TIF districts where the city kind of handles the financing, right? Okay. And they're not necessarily paying out of pocket, but when things go to hell, ultimately the city's on the hook. And I just we have the Packers. We do not have a Major League Baseball team. I'm sorry. I know that there are some people that are fans of the smaller teams, the gamblers, and like all these other things that are going on around here, right? But they're just not a draw. Nobody's cutting, and nobody
novelty.
Nobody that's coming to see Lambeau Field is going to go see one of these. Like they're not going to care about that. Yes, there'll be.
Are you talking about Titletown?
No, I'm talking about like on the south end of Broadway. They're talking about this whole.
Oh, you're going back to that Shipyard kind of thing.
Yeah, the Bullfrogs. The Bullfrogs.
Yeah. Okay, I follow.
It's fine. They do okay where they are. I don't really understand why we already have a baseball stadium. We're going to build another one. Anyway, like that's a whole quagmire, but they need to do what happened with the Titletown district. Like it's either too small or too big what they're doing with these other developments. And the Titletown district is really what you need to do. Like if you're going to do it, you got to do it big.
Now is the Titletown district, is it done? Is it completely done? Are they still developing down there?
I feel like there's like one thing left. I thought there was like one more building that there was going to come in, but I could be wrong. But they have a good ecosystem there that is like there's stuff happening every day.
I go on Facebook, and I mean it looks like there's lots of stuff to do, and people look like they're having a lot of fun. Now, granted, it is new. There's a novelty to being new, but I need to get down there, no doubt.
Well, world class hotel. I mean, well, world class. I mean, Wisconsin class anyway, right? But like the Kohler, the Lodge Kohler, like I haven't been in it, but everybody says it's amazing. And Hinterland is great. There's
unless you want to hear yourself.
Well, I mean,
you heard about that?
Yeah,
oh, God.
well, of course, but it's
no, I hear
it's
it. I've been in there. Yeah,
packed.
I hear it.
So these things are all draws, right? And it is, it helps sustain things even when the Packers aren't playing.
I think everything about Titletown District is good. And I mean, I'm kind of being facetious and giving Mark Murphy crap because that's like his little playground. But no doubt, I mean, this is Green Bay. This isn't like, some little rinky-dink thing that's going on in Los Angeles or something. This is a big part of what needs to happen for beautification and all of these kinds of things. So no doubt.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Packers had
the picture of him going down the hill, though, was pretty funny.
It was hilarious.
That came out right after the Packers, get out of the playoffs. And you got Howdy Doody going down on the tube.
Yeah, the optics are a little strange.
But I get it.
I mean, I do get it too. It's bad timing, and he didn't know everything was going to go to hell this year.
No, he didn't.
I mean, nobody really did. I mean, we all thought Aaron Rodgers would save the day.
Yep, and he can't. That's what's crazy for being potentially the best player in the history of the league. And I didn't say quarterback; I said player. Yeah, he can only do so much. That's the dearth of everything around that this team has.
Yeah.
Yuck. Anyway, I don't want to go back on one end.
Yeah. So. One other thing that came up. Oh, actually, you have that under business league stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
Yeah. Nope. We can go on to your JS comments. Those are gold.
Yeah. Yes, there's some good ones. So here we go. All right. Quote: our highest paid, best player on the team sits just because the team isn't doing well. Is this the new precedent? Now he's obviously talking about Devontae Adams. No, I'm kidding. It's Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, these are gold. Okay, next one. Why is the superstar wasting his career in Green Bay? Amazing ignorance on his part. I'll say this. There are a lot of people out there who think that Aaron Rodgers can opt out of his contract.
Ouch.
He can't.
Yeah.
But there are so many people saying he's going to opt out and he's going to go to Denver and and I go, he ain't doing nothing. He can't opt out, people. So please.
Right.
I find that hilarious every time you see that.
Well, he can do the Brett Favre reach around, like the
Brett Favre reach around.
I'm retiring and I'm going to go to New York.
Oh God.
There's.
You wonder how's it going to end?
Oh God.
What if next year Ted's final draft, basically, or I guess it'd be his next to last draft, he drafts a quarterback in the first round?
Oh my God. Doesn't matter. We still need a good backup.
Yeah, I hear you. Rodgers can be a good backup. The old switcheroo, as George Costanza would say.
Right.
Okay. The last one. This idea of a, quote, community-owned team isn't such a good thing after all. Sell the team. Buyers would be lining up.
What does that even mean? Why would anybody be lining up right now?
Because it's time.
Oh my God. That might be like the all-time dumbest thing I've ever seen.
No, there's some other dumb ones. Trust me. There's some gems.
but actually a dumb statement, not like just poor grammar and saying just crazy, stupid things, but like you don't understand anything about what we have.
I love the typos too that they have in here. That's like buyers, like possessive. Not buyers, plural.
Right.
Oh God. Yeah. If you really dig back, I think it's been an account for like 3 or 4 years, maybe longer. If you dig way back, there was this one I'll never forget. This is the one that went like viral, that got it really big. It was when Aaron Rodgers was causing defenses to jump off sides and he'd get that free play and he'd throw touchdowns on them. This guy, they did a screenshot of this guy who went on this horrible rant, and it's somehow about how Aaron Rodgers is cheapening the game and all this kind of stuff. And he was a guy from Wisconsin. He was a Packer fan. And it somehow got to Aaron Rodgers, and he responded to it in the press conference. It's so good. Just wasted the guy. It was hilarious.
Well, and Cam Newton did that to us, right?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I mean,
that was embarrassing. I mean, that right there again there's so many little microcosms.
Right.
Wheel route. Oh, you've been watching film? Watch this. And then he throws a wide open slam.
It was cringeworthy.
It was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
So the Panthers, speaking of Panthers, they're on the looks for a new owner.
Yeah, basically right after the game was over, it came out that Jerry Richardson is a dirty old man, and they have nasty stuff going on there with all these revelations and everything else coming about. So he probably got forced to sell this thing, and he's also older dirt, so needs some kind of succession plan, I imagine. And so he's putting the team up for sale, and it looks like P. Diddy is going to buy it along with a consortium of other people.
I mean, he wants to.
I don't know if you saw this. I forgot to mention this in the pre-notes, but he got interviewed somewhere, P. Diddy, about wanting to buy that. And one of the interviewers, they didn't take him seriously, and they made some like racist remark to him about like some. I mean, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was. We got to find this. It's pretty bad because they thought that he's damn near a billionaire, and they were basically thinking he was just some stupid rapper who only had like one album out or something. Oh my God.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It was bad. It was really bad. Well, like the comment they made, they're like, you need to go back drinking 40s and burr, 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 burr. It was just really bad optics.
Right. So, okay. So actually there's a BET has a pretty good article about this. So the Forbes had the Panthers at 2.3 billion valuation in September. And that they're saying that could increase to 2.5 billion.
No doubt.
For his controlling stake. So I think there might be other owners involved yet. So they wouldn't need to buy all of it.
Okay.
So they would need to, so Diddy and whoever would need to come up with at least 1.2 billion.
Do you imagine if P. Diddy bought a freaking team?
Yeah.
I love it.
But so I don't know how like big money financing works exactly, but the guy has a net worth of 820 million.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, if he could just walk into a bank and get financing at that level, but I would think he could.
You would think with that kind of,
well,
what's your credit report look like, Mr. P. Puffy Diddy?
Well, I mean, so the one thing that banks always look at is like, well, okay, what is it that you're investing in? And is this a risky thing?
Yeah, no doubt,
right?
no doubt.
So like he can handle it. It pays for itself.
I think it'd be great.
And I think it'd be great.
I'm tired of these old stuffy.
Yeah.
I mean, let's call it half these guys are racist owners, and I'm sick and tired of it. So
right, and whether they're racist or not, they're just a bunch of old fat white guys.
Yeah,
and the NFL market, the customers, that doesn't represent us. It's closer to representing you and me, but
I hear you.
We have a big diverse country, and we need some other owners. Like I think it'd be great, and Kaepernick too. Like that's fine. I think that's great.
I completely 100% agree.
I wish I could help them. I don't know.
We got to get a lot of Bitcoin, right?
So, that was another thing. The whole Bitcoin thing.
What the hell's going on with that?
I guess like that's the talk in NFL locker rooms. These guys are all investing in Bitcoin. I'm telling you, that is not a good plan. That
could be a whole nother podcast. I don't even know. My brother-in-law was trying to explain to me the concept of Bitcoin. I don't understand it. Even on like a fundamental level, I don't understand it.
It's a speculative investment right now. It doesn't matter. It could go up, randomly for 20 years. It's not gonna, it's too volatile.
My thing was, what I didn't understand was you're basically, the currency is the government. I mean, how do you just say this is now a currency? Oh, yeah. How do you do that?
Well, so we could have a whole podcast about that.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's interesting that like the tech world and the entertainment world and the sports world, like everything's all mixed. All the peanut butters in the jelly. It's so weird.
Nice. Peanut butters in the jelly.
It's so weird.
The ketchup and the mustard in the same bottle, Jerry.
It's just so weird. Yeah. And then you had one more note about the XFL.
Yeah, Vince McMahon. This came out the other day. I was listening to sports radio the other day, and I didn't even really hear about it till probably just either yesterday or maybe a couple days ago, that apparently, rumor has it, Vince McMahon is going to try and resurrect the XFL, which was out about, early 2000s, maybe late 90s, somewhere around that range.
Yeah, maybe
it was a big failure, as we know, because it was, let's face it, it was bad football. You didn't have all the talent, but tell you what, with Mr. You-know-who in the White House, and he loves the McMahons, and they didn't let him get in the NFL Owners Club. That would be some, sit back and watch some popcorn if that really did happen.
Maybe it is the right time for something new. I mean, not necessarily for me. Not for me, and not for
the
any
NFL
Packer
in general.
fans,
I will say they are fat, dumb, and happy. The whole damn league is fat, dumb, and happy, and it's just you talk about the catch rule, all the injuries, and then all the distractions, and then the game is becoming. Everything about it is very tedious, and I mean they captivate you with the storylines and all that, but I mean even like going to a game is you can sit at home and you don't have to go to the actual stadium, all these different things, and as I like to say, even Rome fell. Well,
I mean nothing lasts forever.
Exactly, except for bad Capers defenses. You have to be clear on that.
Boy, no, I don't think so. I think that's coming to an end.
Let's hope so, right?
So
Sorry.
I don't have any. That
was a podcast killer.
I think we're done. You know what? So I would like to get somebody calling in to talk to us about the last game or two of the season. Feel free to leave us a voicemail 508-535-5468. That's also in the notes. And it'd be interesting to hear, your take on the Vikings, on the upcoming Detroit game. Should Rodgers have been sat out? Most people, I think, agree that this is good that he is.
It is the right thing. He's different than other players. He just is.
Yeah,
and it's business, baby.
And this whole Capers thing, like I would love to hear what everybody says, because
the Dom Capers caper.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like sometimes we're kind of in an echo chamber. So I would love it if there were any outside views. That'd be great. So that's all I got.
Got it, baby.
All right, go Pack Go.
Go Pack Go.
Podcast.
Chair.
I know, right?